What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Reagan, and if you're new to my channel, this is Scarlet Miata, where we talk about everything about cars. Now for today, I'm going to share with you a very special car. Why is it special? Because most cars are made for the road, and sometimes you could just tweak them, modify them, and be able to go to the track. But this car is something that is born in the track, and you could take it out to the road. Now, if you're looking for a track monster that you could really race out there and drive to the grocery at the same time, well, look no further than what I have here. This is the Lotus Elise Sprint, and today I'm going to review it and share with you the quirks and features about this car. Let's do this. The founder of Lotus, Colin Chapman, famously said, "Simplify, then add lightness." Now this Lotus Elise I have here is the lightest Lotus Elise in the market today. There are three variants of the Lotus. The lower variant is called the Sport. Then at the topmost portion, we have the track ready Cup, and in the middle we have the Sprint. Now, what's the difference between the Cup and the Sprint? Well, the Cup has more power, I guess, and it's light. But this beauty right here adds a lot of carbon fiber bits and a lot of weight-saving modifications to it that makes it shed a lot of those pounds, making it the lightest Lotus Elise in the market at 878 kilos wet, meaning it has all the fluids in it, and it has the brake fluid and the transmission fluid and the fuel as well. So at 878 kilos, you've got one of the lightest road-going sports cars right here. As you can see in the body of this Lotus Elise, this has the quintessential supercar styling, all found in a small package. Now, it is small, which makes it perfect for Manila roads and Manila traffic. And the way its body is styled, it will definitely turn heads wherever it will go. Now, what makes this lighter, much lighter than the standard Lotus Sport, Elise Sport? We're going to go around the car to find out what are the bits and pieces that were changed to make this the lightest road-going Lotus Elise ever. All Lotus Elise models are rear mid-engine, rear-wheel drive sports cars, and because of that, you don't have the engine up here at the front. Here at the front, at the bonnet, we have here this beautiful carbon fiber finish, which not only adds a good design to the front of this Lotus, the Sprint, but it also reduces some weight with it. Moving to the back of the car, we have here the engine cover, and the entire engine cover of this Lotus Elise Sprint is made of carbon fiber, once again for added weight savings. And if you go up here to the roof, the entire roof, which is by the way removable, is made of carbon fiber as well. But be careful not to lean on this roof, because this carbon fiber roof is, well, it's not load bearing, because what we have here is a special material that surrounds the windshield, and this material is also, I think it's fiberglass. So if you try to lean on the roof of your Lotus Elise Sprint, you might have a caved-in roof and a huge repair bill at the same time. Adding to the Lotus Elise Sprint's handling capabilities and more weight savings is the fact that the wheels are staggered not just in the width, they're also staggered in size. I have here the front wheel, and this is a 16-inch rim, while the rear wheel is a 17-inch rim. Now the front wheel is 16 by 6, while the rear wheel is 17 by 8. So this gives you much better traction and handling, because you've got a very sharp steering response because of the tiny front wheel, and you've got those thick meaty wheels at the back. Now these rear wheels are shod with Yokohama Advanyova's ADO 7s. These are the stock tires that came with this car, and the tire size is 225/45R17. But when you go to the front, of the car, you have the same Advaniova AD07s, but this time it's a 175/55 R16 tire. So you got a very thin tire up front for that sharp turn-in and handling, but you've got this nice, thick, and wide, meaty rear tires to make sure that you put the power down properly in this sports car. For stopping power, we have slotted disc brakes up front, and the pads and the calipers are made by AP Racing. You can see there, it says AP right there. And you would think that it'd be AP Racing all around, but no, because when you go to the rear, at the rear, we still have the same slotted disc, but this time around we have Brembos. You can see there, we got Brembos right there. Now the main reason for the difference in the brakes of this Lotus is wheel offset. Lotus want to make sure that the calipers would clear the wheels, and that's why they went for AP Racing up front and Brembo at the back. Moving up here to the front of the car, we all know that this is a mid-engine sports car, but unfortunately for the Lotus Elise Sprint and all Lotus Elise models, you don't get to say frunk this time because there is no frunk up front, there's no storage, and if you want to get this front hood removed or opened, you'll need some tools to do it, and it takes a lot of effort and time to do so, which we're not gonna do in this video. More on removing the front part of the car. This entire thing, you know, you got the front fender, you got the front bumper. Most normal cars, you know, the front bumper is separate from the front fender, but not when it comes to the Lotus Elise. This line here is just a design, just to make sure that, you know, it looks normal, but it isn't, because this is a design etched there to make it look like the front bumper and front fender is totally different from each other. But when you remove this entire portion of the car, the front bumper comes with it. This is what you call a clamshell, pretty much, and this whole thing comes off in one piece. Crazy! Just another quirk of this Lotus Elise Sprint. Well, all Lotus Elise models. The Lotus Elise Sprint comes with these really aggressive looking rear diffusers to help clean out your exit air and wind and improve your aerodynamics. Now, it doesn't have any side exhaust exits because your exhaust is right down there in the center. You can see, and this exhaust for the Lotus Elise Sprint is a full titanium exhaust, which is meant to save more kilos on your total weight. All Lotus Elise models are roadsters, but as you can see here, there is a carbon fiber roof, but this roof is an option that you get whenever you spec the Sprint model for the Lotus Elise. Now, this roof can be removed, but we're not gonna do that in this video because you need some tools to get it done, and I do believe it's not a one-two thing to do. So yeah, all Elise cars come with a soft top, but in this particular case, the soft top is safely stowed back at the owner's residence, and instead we have this full carbon fiber roof that takes its place, essentially making it into a sport coupe already. Moving on to the engine, we have here this beauty right here. It doesn't have any engine covers, which is how you want your sports car engines to look like, because you want to make sure that you could totally admire these beauties. Now, you know, normally when it comes to supercars and exotic cars, the problem with them is engine reliability. But that problem is not something that you'd encounter here with the Lotus Elise, because this baby right here is a 1.8 liter Toyota Altis engine. Wait, it's a Toyota engine. Yeah, it is a Toyota engine. One of the most boring, bulletproof, reliable engines that you could ever find. Now, how could this baby power this thing in a way that supercars should move? Well, we have here at the back, you could see this 1.8 liter Toyota engine is a supercharged engine, and it pumps out 217 horsepower and does 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.5 seconds. That is one hell of a Toyota engine, and I must say this is probably the best sounding stock Toyota engine you will ever hear. Take a listen. Behind this engine, you have your trunk space. So yes, you don't get to say frunk with the Lotus Elise Sprint, but you still get to say trunk. And you can see here we have a good amount of space. Well, it's not gonna be enough to carry your check-in luggage when you're going to the airport, but it is enough to carry this. We have here a lithium-ion battery tender, because this baby also sports a lightweight lithium-ion battery, which could be found somewhere behind here in this compartment. Now, why lithium-ion? Because lithium-ion also saves weight. It's a very lightweight battery, and that's what this Lotus Elise Sprint is all about. Looking at the engine compartment, we found another quirk that could be found in the Lotus Elise. Looking up at the cover, the engine cover, we have here saying maximum allowable mass in luggage compartment, 50 kilograms. Now, looking at this trunk very carefully, you can see that I don't have any idea how you're gonna fit 50 kilos worth of stuff into this. I mean, what would you be carrying? A bag of bricks or something? So that's another quirk. This car can still carry 50 kilos. That's like a small human in this space. Wow. Here's another supercar quirk. Well, a quirk for rear engine cars. They all have this, and I always love it. How to close the engine cover. All right, so what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to remove, of course, the prop rod, and put it down there like that, and just squeeze on the latch right at the center of the hood cover. Not at the end, not at the side, at the center, because that's where the latch is. Par for the course of any supercar body that has a rear engine are these side air vents that direct air into the engine, into the air filter, giving it more power, of course. And we have here a race-inspired fuel cap cover. You have here a key, and you have to take your key in order to pop open this. Moving to the doors, you see that there's no door handles, nothing, because in order to open the door of your Lotus, you have to press this button and just open it. Fair enough and simple affair. At this point, let's go inside the car to learn more about the quirks of this Lotus Elise Sprint. So we open it, right? And first quirk that you'd see, when you open the door, you have this red reflector circle right here. That's just to make sure that any oncoming vehicle would know that your tiny and low Lotus is right there on the road, and it makes sure that they won't miss that open door, because if they don't see it, especially if they're driving those big ass SUVs or pickup trucks, they might just blow right onto your door. So Lotus put this there just to make sure that, you keep your door. First fun fact before you even step into the Lotus Elise tub, and as you can see here, this is carbon fiber, all right? But underneath this carbon fiber, you'd see this tiny aluminum thing that's peeking out. This is actually the car's chassis, and the entire chassis is made out of bonded aluminum. And when you say bonded aluminum, it just means that the aluminum pieces are all glued together, and it doesn't sacrifice on the stiffness and rigidity of the car, because other notable cars that use a bonded aluminum chassis are like the Aston Martin Vantage and other formula cars out there. Now, the biggest advantage of using bonded aluminum like this is you could use thinner panels and thinner pieces, making the chassis a very lightweight chassis. Now, aside from this thing that's peeking out, you also can see the bonded aluminum part right here at the door. You can see there. And you could see it right down there at the middle of the driver and passenger footwell. That aluminum piece right there is part of the bonded aluminum chassis. So that's another fun fact about the Lotus Elise Sprint. Looking at the inner door panel of the Lotus, you'll have here very nice Alcantara finish and leather finish as well. And look at that, there's a tiny button here that is power windows. So even if this is a track focus race car for the road, the Lotus Elise Sprint doesn't scrimp on nice creature comforts like power windows. And you got your tiny door handle right here. The Lotus Elise doesn't come with map holders or any such storage. Instead, you got a tiny thing here where you could probably, I don't know, park a few coins or maybe your cell phone if your cell phone was like a candy bar Nokia 5110 from back in the 90s. But wait, I guess this space is too thin to even hold that. So I don't even know what you could fit there. Maybe a few candies or Mentos? Maybe. But for the sake of having some storage space on your door, you got that thing right there. Oh wait, I'm sorry. This is not a storage space. This is actually a handle where you can close the door when you're already inside. Silly me. Moving inside the car, you will see that this particular Lotus Elise Sprint is sporting very special Sprint carbon fiber full race buckets. Both passenger and driver have these beautiful seats. As you can see, the center portion is made out of Alcantara and it's trimmed in leather at the side, and you got some nice grippy material right here. The seat back is not adjustable, just like how real racing seat buckets should be. And you could see here, you could adjust it for a reach in terms of for your leg room, and it is race ready because this baby could already sport 5-point harnesses if you want to spec it like that. Here at the side we have the engine start button, and you have a button here for sport mode, which helps you with your response time and also helps you with traction control and stability control at the same time. But if you're not content with the sport mode, you got here, well, this is what I call race god mode, or off, meaning you turn off all your electronic nannies and everything is now up to your feet how you would control the car. Right here we have a button for your park light, and we have here a button for your headlight, and we have here another button for your rear park light. Just, well, for European regulations, whenever you park your car and you want to make sure that people still see your car while it's parked on the road. This Lotus sports very simple buttons. Everything is functional. You don't even need a user's manual to determine what all these buttons are for. Moving forward to the steering wheel, simplicity follows into the steering wheel. There's absolutely no buttons to be found. The steering wheel is made by steering wheel company Momo. It comes with an airbag, of course, and you have here at the side your horns, and it's a very small steering wheel which is perfect for track use. Moving to the instrument gauges, again, Lotus eschews the complications of today's modern cars. You just got here a tachometer that revs all the way up to 7,000 RPM right there. And you got a speedometer that reaches up to 300 kilometers per hour. Another fun fact that you can see inside the Lotus Elise Sprint is this totally exposed shifter linkage found at the center. Now this is a 6-speed manual transmission. Kudos to the owner of this Lotus, because manual is always the best iteration for cars like these, for fun cars like these. So you got your standard handbrake right here and your 6-speed manual transmission This is all in aluminum. There's no hard plastics covering your shifter, which saves around a kilo or two in terms of weights. At the center of the car, that baby right there, that is bonded aluminum, part of the chassis. It's not like the bonded aluminum isn't lightweight enough, but Lotus decided to put 3 holes in them to add more weight savings in this car, which is crazy because it's already crazy light. In terms of precious internal storage, we got right here a shelf made of aluminum, and this shelf acts as your glove box because there's really no glove box. That has been taken over by the passenger airbag right there. So you got this nice small cubby where you can put some stuff like maybe your cell phone or your wallet, and you also have this portion right here when you can also put some more stuff. And it comes with even with a rubber mat, to keep things from slipping around. So aside from these two, there's really no other storage space that you can find inside the Lotus. Well, if you're driving the Lotus, storage space is probably not even the most important factor to consider. Unlike most cars where the AC and the infotainment system come as standard, for the Lotus, these are options that you have to spec if you want to remain comfortable while driving your Lotus on the street. This is a Clarion radio, and of course we have the climate control here, and these are 3,000 pound options that you have to spec in order to get, well, a radio and an AC. Now if you take your attention to the passenger side of the dashboard, you will see under here there is a USB port that can be found here. This connects to the infotainment system, but your Clarion head unit comes with Bluetooth. So I have no idea what this is for. Most likely for charging purposes of your gadgets. And if you look up here on top of the USB, you have here a very nice looking plaque that says hand built in England by, this looks like a David to me. Yeah, David Hills. So apparently this particular Lotus Elise Sprint car was completely hand built and finished by a certain Mr. David Hills. And now I'm here at the passenger side of the Elise, and what you have to do is you have to, so this is already all pushed out, the doors pushed out. Number one rule, you never ever use the roof as a support for getting out of this carbon fiber tub because the roof might, cave in, and we don't want to do that. What you do, you brace yourself on the seat. You brace yourself on the seat right here, and here at the side. This is okay, right? Yep. All right. And take your right foot out, and there you go. Woo! You climb out of the car just like that. Woo! So now that we've seen all around the car, outside, inside, we're gonna go for a short drive. This time I'm not gonna drive the car. I'm gonna come in as a passenger just to give you some impressions of how it feels on the road, driving around inside the village, just to see how it handles in terms of road manners. So let's do the drive right now. This car gives me more of that feeling that I'm sitting right on top of the road, as in like I'm sitting on the road. I mean, most sports cars are like that, but for the Lotus, given its size and how low it is, it really makes you feel like you're just gliding on over the street. Forward visibility is nice, not something I'd expect. So this is something I didn't expect from this Lotus. Forward visibility is very nice, even sideways visibility is good. Another quirk of the Lotus Elise Sprint, and pretty much all Lotus Elise cars, is this baby doesn't come with power steering. What? You'd say it has no power steering? It's like powy steering? Yes, it's powy steering because the car is so light, you don't really need any more mechanical engagement or electronic nannies to help you steer the car. It's so light and so easy to steer, as you can see. Another fun fact of the Lotus is you look around the dash, look around your inner door panel, and there is no central locking device at all. Probably this thing, but no, it's hiding way down here. You can see it there. That black button over there is the central locking system. Wow. Only a Lotus owner could ever know about that. I'm gonna go full blast. Whoa! 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 Yeah! Woo! Nice! Woo! Yeah, baby! This is the first time that a Toyota engine was able to pin me on my seat back with a G-force. Woo! And that engine sound, glorious! Woo! Hot damn! And I thought Miatas were fun. And I'm just a freaking passenger. Wow! Sarap! So there you have it, guys. We were able to take the Lotus Elise Sprint out for a drive, and it was a surprising drive for me because, wow, I never thought that a car like this would drive so civilly on the road, and it had really good road manners. It wasn't jarring at all. The AC was really cold, and well, yeah, so it is a supercar body with supercar performance. And if there's only one regret that I have for this car review, is that I regret that we're not doing this on the racetrack, because I'm pretty sure that this car comes truly alive on the racetrack. And well, that's probably something that we can do one of these days. Anyway, if you like this video, guys, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel as well. If you have any comments about the Lotus Elise Sprint or anything about the Lotus or this car review, please hit me in the comments below. Anyway, I'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.